just getting here, welcome back. We look forward to this next game against Plymouth and Frankton. Frankton will be their home team this one. We'll get started here very shortly, but just a couple quick announcements. Louis with Schaefer Photo Services is still here. He's on the east side of the concession stand. He's got lots and lots of pictures still. They've got the Town and Country semi-state finalist logos on them. A lot of these were taken at districts, semi-state, and volleyball also took quite a few here since we started this on Thursday night. So stop by, see what Louis has, and pick up why they last. I still have a few window decals left in the concession stand for $5. They just have the Town and Country logo with the 12U state finalists on it with each team. So kind of a neat thing. I think it's special that you're here playing in the finals. And then this last announcement is primarily for the Frankton folks. Plymouth, you're more than welcome to come. But next Saturday night, we're going to be showing the Sandlot right here at the Diamond for a charge to get in. We're going to show it on the backstop. Everyone sit in the field and watch it. Nice little end of the season right before we go back to school. Event for the whole town. So invite your friends, family, come out, watch the Sandlot. It'll be a blast. We're going to start gathering about 7 o'clock. We'll have some cornhole games and just gathering. The concession stand will be open, and then the movie will start as soon as it's dark enough, right at dusk. So come out, join us. Hope you enjoy it, and then we'll get started on this game here very shortly.
Welcome back here from the Frankton Town and Country Youth League field. Steve Stricker, RTC TV4 with you for game number 12 of the tournament. It's the 12U Senior State Finals. This is an elimination game between Plymouth and Frankton. Ought to be a good one. The winner goes on and plays immediately after this against Rochester, who lost to Fairfield just before this, 6-2. Fairfield is in. They're going to play Monday at 6. They got to win one more game, and they're the 2019 Town and Country 12U champions. So Plymouth and Frankton coming up next. This is a rematch of the first round game that happened on Friday. In game number 3, Frankton won 3-0 over Plymouth, shutting out the Plymouth team for the first time all season long. So we'll see if Frankton can replicate what they did on Friday. We'll see if Plymouth can get their bats going. They did that in a big way in the game yesterday morning against Madison Grant, scoring 17 runs. They battled back after that win to defeat Mississinawa yesterday at 7:30. They won that game by a score of 8-2 to make it into this one. Frankton lost after that win to Plymouth. They lost to Fairfield 12-6, dropping them down into the losers bracket. They beat Bremen then yesterday at 5:30. 5-3 was the score in that one. That's how both of the teams got here. So Plymouth and Frankton. Winner plays Rochester at 5:30. The loser goes home. They're done. So we're down to our final 4 teams. We're going to be down to 3 after this one. Plymouth going to be the visitors on the scoreboard here in this one. Number 67, Jack Cheney, going to be leading things off. He'll be playing at short. Batting second, number 44, Preston Jessen. He'll be behind the plate. Batting third, number 25, Caleb Bowling. He'll be at second. Batting fourth, going to be number 22, Trey Jordan. He'll be at first. Batting fifth, number 00, Mason Bales. He'll be in left. Batting sixth, number 3, Trey Delp. He'll be at third. Batting seventh, number 99, Malachi C. He'll be in center. Batting eighth, number 32, Preston Wolf. He'll be on the mound, start things off. And in the ninth slot, number 6, Jack Christensen. He'll be out and right. And Plymouth only batting 9 here for this one, so they'll have 2 available for substitution. Number 1, Blake Mackey, and number 23, Parker Wolf. For the home team, Frankton Eagles. Leading things off, going to be the pitcher, number 24, Jarrett Morris. Batting second will be number 20, Ethan Stansberry. He'll be at second. Batting third, number 99, Big Ty Everson. He's playing first. Batting cleanup, number 12, Braden Peters. He'll be at third. Batting fifth, number 2, Jackson Alexander. He'll be out and right. Batting in the 6th spot, number 9, Chainsaw, Zach Browning. He'll be in left. Batting 7th, number 3, Baron Dietzer. He'll be in center. Batting 8th will be number 18, Jamison Beardsley. He'll be the catcher. And batting in the 9th slot, number 13, Aaron Hartley. He'll be playing short. 11, Jonathan Hobbs. And 14, Xander Bannon, available for substitution for Frankton. It ought to be a good one. Rematch of first-round game coming up between Frankton and Plymouth here on RTC TV4. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back with the start of the game in just moments. All right, here we go. Getting set. Game 12. Leading things off for Plymouth, number 67, Jack Cheney. Jarrett Morris on the mound. That one in for a strike, and we are underway with game number 12. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes for Cheney. We'll see what Coach Morris does here this afternoon. It's another we talked about in that first game, the chess match. On how far do you go? That one's going to get over the head of Hartley there at short, and Cheney is aboard with a leadoff single. It's going to bring out the catcher, number 44, Preston Jessen, with 1 on, no outs here in the top of the first. Lays down a bunt, goes foul off first baseline, strike 1. You know, this is an elimination game. You know, how long do you leave Morris in? You want your stud on the mound as long as you can, but you also got to conserve if you do happen to move on. You need him for innings. I believe they said he has 5 innings left. And that one goes foul off third baseline. So with 2 strikes, Jessen will have to swing away. That one in the dirt. Cheney going to move over to second. 1 ball, 2 strikes for Jessen. That one misses outside. Count goes 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fouled back, stays alive. Count stays 2-2 for Jessen. That one is outside. Count goes to 3-2. So the payoff pitch for Morris. And that misses. So Jessen is aboard. 2 on here with no outs for 25. Caleb Bowling with Trey Jordan on deck. There's a shot out in the center. And that is gone. 3-run home run. Caleb Bowling gets Plymouth on the board. With a 3-run blast. Still no outs here in the top of the first. Plymouth already doing better than they did in the first one versus Frankton. See how Morris reacts after that quick lead here by Plymouth. Trey Jordan, Mason Bales, Trey Delp, the next 3 batters for Plymouth. Went for strike 2. Got him swinging for out number 1. Jordan goes down swinging, brings up Mason Bales. Trey Delp on deck, nobody on, 1 out here in the top of the first. Went in there for strike 1 for Morris. Fouled back, so Morris ahead 0-2 here. Bale's going to have to battle with 2 strikes. Able to stay alive, gets that one fouled back. Swing and a miss for out number 2. Bales goes down swinging. It's going to bring up Trey Delp. Malachi C on deck for Plymouth. Back foul out of play for strike one. Jack Cheney got on for Plymouth to lead things off. Preston Jessen walked, and with 2 on, Caleb Bolin came up and hit a monster shot out into center. There's a shot out into right, should be played there for out number 3. So Plymouth gets on the board here early, 3 runs on 2 hits, nobody left on after a half an inning. It's Plymouth 3, Frankton 0 when we come back. Leading things off for the Eagles, it's going to be Morris, Stansberry, and Everson. Thanks for tuning in here on RTC TV4. All right, getting set to go. Bottom of the first. Plymouth leads 3-0 here against Frankton. Leading things off for the Eagles, number 24, Jarrett Morris, the pitcher, with Ethan Stansberry and Ty Everson, the first 3 batters. On the mound, starting things off for Plymouth, is going to be number 32, Preston Wolf. And Morris swing and a miss for strike one. Fouls that one back, so Morris quickly down 0-2. Going to have to battle here with 2 strikes on him. There's a shot over to third. Trey Delp over to first in time for out number 1. Brings up number 20, Ethan Stansberry, the second baseman, with Ty Everson on deck. There's a shot that's going to get over the head of Wolf out into center field. Stansberry is aboard with a 1-out single. Brings up number 99, Ty Everson, the first baseman, with Braden Peters on deck. Everson sends one out, just foul off the left field line. That would have been a nice one. Might have been able to get Stansberry in from first with that one as it was trailing away. Just foul though. No balls and 1 strike now for Everson. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Fouls that back. Everson stays alive with Peters on deck. Takes that one outside for ball one. There's a shot from Everson. Is that out? Double. All right. Bounces over. So Everson aboard with a ground rule double. Puts runners at second and third for Peters. With one out on deck, Jackson Alexander. That first pitch from Wolf outside. Big cut on that one. 1 ball, 1 strike. That was going to be foul for strike 2. There's a shot over to third. Delp is going to make the play at Peters. 1 run is going to score. And over to third is Everson. So they get the out, but Peters gets the RBI. Alexander comes up with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Frankton cuts that lead down to 2 runs. Strike 2 on Alexander. Zach Browning on deck for the Eagles. And Alexander goes down looking for out number 3. The Eagles get 1 run back after 1. It's Plymouth 3, Frankton 1. When we come back, top of inning number 2, Trey Delp, Malachi C., and Preston Wolf for the Pilgrims. Be back here in a moment on RTC TV4. All right, Malachi C. leading us off here in the top of the second. Jarrett Morris on the mound for Frankton as we get going here in the second inning. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike for C. Plymouth got on the board in the top of the first on a huge 3-run blast by Caleb Bowling. Strike 2 for Malachi. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Just missing on the inside corner. Count goes full for C. And C goes down looking for out number 1. It's going to bring up the pitcher, number 32, Preston Wolf, with Jack Christensen on deck. Foul tip for strike 1. That one is going to be fouled back out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Christensen on deck for Plymouth. And just getting a piece of that one, staying alive, is Wolf. That one misses outside. Count goes 2 balls and 2 strikes for Preston Wolf. 1 out, nobody on here in the top of the second for Plymouth. There's a shot out into right center. That one's going to bounce over for a ground rule double for Wolf. So 1 on for Plymouth with 1 down brings up number 6, Jack Christensen, the right fielder. Leadoff hitter Jack Cheney on deck. Plymouth shortening their lineup here this afternoon, leaving Mackey and Parker Wolf on the bench. That one gets away. Wolf is going to advance over to third. There's a shot over to short. It's trouble. Wolf is going to score. Christensen will be aboard. That's going to bring up Jack Cheney with Preston Jessen on deck. That one misses for ball 1. Plymouth able to get that run back that they gave up to Frankton in the bottom of the first. Lead is 3 runs again, 4-1. Can they turn it? They get the lead runner on the fielder's choice. So Cheney aboard for Preston Jessen, now with 2 down here in the top of the second. Jessen walked and then was punched in on the 3-run homer from Bowling. Caleb Bowling on deck for Plymouth. That one down in the dirt, so 3 balls, no strikes for Preston Jessen, with Caleb Bowling on deck for the Pilgrims. And the 4-pitch walk issued to Jessen. Coach Morris going to go talk things over with his pitcher and the team as Bowling comes to the plate here. Similar situation to what he had in the first with 2 on. Behind Bowling is Trey Jordan. So let's see if they put Bowling on. And that would load the bases, but you got Jordan, Bales, and Delp coming up behind him. All 3 who struck out in the first. Plymouth leads 4-1 here in the top of the second. One's outside for ball 1. Big cut on that one. 1 ball, 1 strike for Bowling. Fouls that one back. So Morris not intimidated in the least here with Bowling at the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fouls that one back. Inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. That one outside. Count goes full. 3-2 here for Bowling. Got runners on first and second for Plymouth. Full count with 2 outs here in the top of the second. Big pitch here for Morris. Swing and a miss, and the strikeout. That was a big one there for Frankton. Able to retire the side. Plymouth gets 1 back, and after an inning and a half, lead Frankton by a score of 4-1. So when we come back here in the bottom of the second for Frankton, it's going to be Browning, Dietzer, and Beardsley. Be back here in just a moment on RTC TV4. All right, number 9, Zach Browning leading things off here for Frankton. Preston Wolf on the mound as we start the bottom of the second. Plymouth leading 4-1. It's going to be Browning, Dietzer, and Beardsley. That one's fouled back. Count is no balls, 2 strikes for Browning. And Browning goes down with out number 1. It's going to bring up center fielder number 3, Baron Dietzer, with Jamison Beardsley on deck. That one catches the outside corner for strike 1. Fouls that one back. Count's going to go to 1-2. And Dietzer goes down swinging for the second strikeout for Wolf, bringing up Beardsley with Aaron Hartley on deck. 2 outs, nobody on here in the bottom of the second for the catcher, number 18, Jamison Hartley. That one catches the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Beardsley fouls that one back. Count goes to 1-2. On deck, Aaron Hartley. And strikeout number 3 of the inning for Wolf. 1, 2, 3 here in the bottom of the second. After 2, Plymouth holds on to a 4-1 lead over Frankton. Come back with the top of the third for Plymouth. It's going to be Trey Jordan, Mason Bales, and Trey Delp. Be back here in just a moment on RTC TV4. All right, here we go. Top of the third for Plymouth, leading things off. Number 22, Trey Jordan, the first baseman. Mason Bales and Trey Delp going to be the first three Plymouth batters. Jarrett Morris on the mound here starting the third for Frankton. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike for Jordan. There's a little knuckler, and coming over making the catch is Stansberry from his second base position for out number 1. It's going to bring up a 0-0. Mason Bales with Trey Delp on deck. 1 down here in the top of the third. Bales swing and a miss, strike 1. Quickly ahead, Morris. No balls, 2 strikes here for Bales. Fouls that one back, stays alive. Mason struck out in the first. And strike out for out number 2. Mason goes down swinging. Bringing up number 3, Trey Delp with 2 outs. Nobody on for Plymouth. Fouls that one back over the press box. Another beautiful day here in Frankton. A lot of folks out. You can see the crowds all the way around the field. They got some tents set up there in the outfield. Beautiful day for some baseball. A little warmer today. High 80s, I would assume. Got the air running in here, so it feels nice. There's a shot and a nice play over there by Peters at third for out number 3. 1, 2, 3 here in the top of the third. No runs, no hits, no one left on base for Plymouth. After 2.5, the score is Plymouth 4, Frankton 1. When we come back, bottom of the third, Hartley, Morris, and Stansberry will be your batters for Frankton. Thanks for tuning in here to RTC TV4.
Number 13, Aaron Hartley.
All right, Aaron Hartley leading things off with Preston Wolf on the mound, starting the bottom of the third here. Going in there for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike for Hartley. His first plate appearance here for Frankton. On deck, Jarrett Morris, Ethan Stansberry in the hole. There's a little dribbler down the first base line. And over there to make the play, Trey Jordan for out number 1. And that's going to go back up to the top of the lineup to the pitcher, number 24, Jarrett Morris, grounded out to third to lead the game off for Frankton. Fouls that one back. Inside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Outside, so 3-1 count here for Morris. Frankton just needs to try and find a way to get some base runners here, trailing by 3. Wolf finds that corner, strike 2. Count is now full for Morris. Morris winds up and swing and a miss for out number 2. So with 2 outs, that's going to bring up Stansberry with Everson on deck. Close play there at third. They're going to say that was foul when Delp touched it. Looked like it might have been in fair territory, and Delp touched it and punched it foul, but foul was called by the ump. There's a shot over to second, and Bowling makes the play over to first for out number 3. 1, 2, 3 here in the bottom of the third. After 3, score remains Plymouth 4, Frankton 1. When we come back here in the top of the 4th, it's going to be Malachi C., Preston Wolf, and Jack Christensen for the Pilgrims. Be back here in a moment on RTC TV 4. All right, welcome back. We're getting set to go top of the fourth. Coach Morris going all the way with Jarrett Morris pitching the fourth inning here for Frankton. Checking in for Frankton is Jonathan Hobbs. He's going to be playing left field in replacement of Zach Browning. Leading off for Plymouth, number 99, Malachi C., Preston Wolf, Jack Christensen, the first three batters for Plymouth. Pilgrims leading 4-1 after three. It's going to be foul for C for strike one. The winner of this game is going to play right after this at 5:30 versus Rochester for a chance to go to the championship game and take on Fairfield. Fairfield advanced earlier, beating Rochester 6-2. The loser of this one is done for the tournament. There's a little bunt. That's going to be a little too hard. Nice play there by Morris for out number one. It's going to bring up number 32, Preston Wolf. Had a double and scored in the second for Plymouth. One in the dirt, so 2 balls, no strikes here for Wolf. On deck is Christensen. There's a shot over to Stansberry at second. Play in time for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down here for Frankton. Brings up number 6, Jack Christensen. Reached on an error and then was punched out on a fielder's choice back in the second. Pops that one back out of play. Two outs here in the top of the fourth. Nobody on for Plymouth. Play over. And the out is made. Nice job there by Peters. So 1, 2, 3 here in the fourth. Plymouth goes down. No runs, no hits. Nobody left on base. After 3.5, the score stays Plymouth 4, Frankton 1. When we come back here for the bottom of the fourth for Frankton, it's going to be Everson, Peters, and Alexander. Be back here in a moment on RTC TV4. All right, leading things off here for Frankton in the bottom of the fourth is Ty Everson. Big cut on that one for strike one. Everson had a ground rule double in the first. Made it over to third. Braden Peters on deck with Alexander in the hole. Fouls that one back, stays alive. Another one back out of play, so Everson able to battle back, stay alive. Preston Wolf on the mound here for Plymouth. His fourth inning of work here this afternoon. And he gets Everson down on strikes. Start the bottom of the fourth off here for Frankton. He's going to bring up number 12, Braden Peters, the third baseman. Had an RBI on a shot in the first for the only run of the day for Frankton. Gets aboard on the first pitch. It's going to bring up number 2, Jackson Alexander, with Jonathan Hobbs on deck. One out here in the bottom of the fourth. There's a shot from Alexander. That's going to get down in time. At second is Peters. Alexander aboard, so a little bit of a rally here in the bottom of the fourth. 2 on for Hobbs with 1 out here. On deck is Baron Dietzer. Hobbs showing bunt. No balls, 2 strikes here, so Hobbs going to have to protect. And on the outside corner, Hobbs goes down looking for out number 2, bringing up Dietzer with Beardsley on deck. There's a little dribbler over to first, and out number 3. So with 1 out, they got 2 on, not able to move them around after 4. The score is Plymouth 4, Frankton 1. We'll come back here with the top of the 5th. Looks like we're back up top. Jack Cheney, Preston Jessen, and Caleb Bowling for Plymouth when we come back on RTC TV 4. All right, welcome back as we get going top of the 5th. A couple changes here for Frankton. Aaron Hartley has moved over from short. He'll be on the mound. And then Xander Bannon going to be taking over for Alexander in right. And Jarrett Morris moves from the mound over to short. Morris pitched 4 innings, had 5 strikeouts, allowed 5 hits and 4 runs. Leading things off for Plymouth in the top is going to be Jack Cheney, Preston Jessen, and Caleb Bowling, your first 3 batters for the Pilgrims. Plymouth leads by 3 as we start the 5th. That one in for a strike, so 1 ball, 1 strike here for Cheney. That one's going to be foul. Strike 2. That one misses, so count is full now for Cheney. There's a shot, that's going to get past Morris out into left field. Leadoff man is aboard for Plymouth. Bringing up number 44, Preston Jessen. Jessen lays down a nice bunt. Not in time, over to first, beats that one out. So 2 on here to lead off the 5th for Plymouth. For Caleb Bowling. Bowling is 1 for 2, but that one was a big one, a 3-run blast in the first. Got Plymouth on the board. Shows bunt, goes back, ball gets away, runners advance. Ball 2. That one gets away from the catcher, runners stay. Good job there by Beardsley getting back and getting that ball back in. 3 balls, no strikes for Caleb Bowling with Trey Jordan on deck. Hartley gets that one in for strike 1. Bowling's going to take the walk. Bases now loaded for Trey Jordan. Jordan 0 for 2, struck out in the first, popped out to second, back in the third. Comes to the plate with no outs, bases loaded. Here in the top of the 5th. There's a shot out into right field. Off the fence. 1 run is in. 2 runs in. Swing and a miss for strike 1 for Bales. So a 2-run single, 2 RBI single here in the top of the 5th for Trey Jordan. Puts 2 more runs on the board and makes it 6-1 here in the 5th. A little confusion over there. Bowling thought it was a foul ball, went back and gets picked off for out number 1. So 1 out here with 1 on now for Mason Bales. That one slipped out of Hartley's hand for ball 1. Plymouth leading 6-1 here in the 5th. There's a shot. Oh, bad hop. Not in time. It's a bad hop right there. Nothing Stansberry could do about that. Just last second just took the hop. Really nice job actually just staying in front of that one. That one could have been dangerous. If that gets out into the outfield with a speedy Mason Bales beats that out. So pinch runner. It's going to be Mackey taking the spot for Jordan at second. So bases loaded here with 1 down for Malachi C. So they're going to put Parker Wolf in. In replacement of Malachi C. So Wolf comes to the plate now with 1 out and the bases loaded. Out. Out. Oh, he lost the ball. The play was there. Hartley lost the ball. So run scores. Looked like Frankton had that one. So Plymouth tacks on another one. Makes it 7-1 here in the 5th. That one's popped out into right. That's going to drop. 1 run is in. Holding at third is Delp. That makes the score 8-1 now in favor of Plymouth. 4 runs across here in the 5th for Plymouth. Preston Wolf now at the plate with runners at the corners for the Pilgrims. So they re-entered Malachi C to run for Wolf. That is strike number 2 for Parker Wolf. Pops that one up in fair territory, and the catch made there by Everson for out number 2. And that's going to bring up Christensen. Christensen 1 for 2 on the day. Grounded out to third in the 4th for Plymouth. Nice job there by Beardsley staying in front of that one. Runners going. Delp scores. C moves over to third. And that's 9 runs now for Plymouth. Base is now empty here for Plymouth. And Christensen takes the walk. Jack Cheney back around here for Plymouth with 2 outs. Second time around here in the 5th. Sends that back. Nice play there for out number 3. Six runs in the top of the 5th for Plymouth on 5 hits with 1 left on. We go down to the bottom of the 5th for Frankton. When we get back, it's going to be Beardsley, Hartley, and Morris. Be back here in a moment on RTC TV4. All right, here we go. Bottom of inning number 5. Plymouth put up 6 in the top and lead 10-1 here coming into the bottom. Winner of this one will play right after this versus Rochester for a chance to go to the championship game against Fairfield. Leading things off here for Frankton in the bottom of the 5th is going to be Jamison Bradley, Aaron Hartley, and Jarrett Morris. Jack Cheney is the new pitcher for Plymouth. Parker Wolf went 4 innings, allowed 1 run. That ball fouled back. Count is 2-2. And Beardsley goes down swinging for out number 1, bringing up number 13, Aaron Hartley. 1 out, nobody on here in the bottom of the 5th for Frankton. That one in there for a strike. Fouled back, so no balls, 2 strikes here to Hartley. And Hartley goes down swinging for out number 2. It's going to bring up number 24, Jarrett Morris. Jarrett 0 for 2 here this afternoon. Grounded out to 3rd, struck out. His first 2 plate appearances. Cheney gets that one by him for strike 1. Quickly 0-2. Cheney making quick work here in the bottom of the 5th. Trying to find the pitch here, shaking off the catcher. Little miscommunication there with the catcher between Jessen and Cheney. They're trying to find the pitch that they want. And I don't think that was the one they wanted. Two outs here for Morris. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Stansberry on deck. Morris goes down swinging for out number 3. 1, 2, 3 here in the bottom of the 5th. To the 6th we go. Plymouth leading 10-1. When we come back, it's going to be Preston Jessen, Caleb Bowling, and Trey Jordan for Plymouth. Be back in a moment on RTC TV4.
subbing for 13. Got it? Yep. Okay.
All right, welcome back here as we get set for the 6th and final inning here from Frankton in game number 12 between Plymouth and Frankton. The winner plays Rochester at 5:30. The loser is out. New pitcher is going to be Everson for Frankton. Browning comes back in. He's going to be at first. And going out is going to be Hartley. Leading things off for Plymouth. Going to be number 44, Preston Jessen, with Caleb Bowling and Trey Jordan, the first three batters. There's a shot out to center, in for the catch for out number 1 out there in center field is Dietzer. It's going to bring up number 25, Caleb Bowling, with Trey Jordan on deck. One down, nobody on here for Plymouth. That one in the dirt from Everson. The farther along we get in this tournament, as we get down here to some elimination games, we're going to be down to 3 teams after this game. And you get to know these kids a little bit as you're watching these games, and you hate to see them go. They've worked so hard here all summer long, and doesn't look like Frankton's going to be able to come back from a 9-run deficit, and really have enjoyed coming down here. Of course, everybody at Frankton has been great to me, but this team has had some big wins here in this tournament, and they've had a big year. There's a shot over, and nice job there by Stansberry to get the out. So, you know, kind of bittersweet here as we get down into the later stages to see some of these teams that we've watched all week long move on, and some of them move out. So Frankton not out of it. They still have one more at bat. They got to get Plymouth out here, though, in the top of inning number 6. Everson doing a good job coming in here in relief. First 2 batters he's faced, he's retired. Batter now is number 22, Trey Jordan, with Mason Bales on deck for Plymouth. And first 3 pitches to Jordan are all balls. See if he can find the strike zone here. 3 balls, no strikes. And it's going to be a 4-pitch walk, so Jordan is going to be aboard with the walk. That's going to bring up Mason Bales. 2 outs, 1 on here for Bales. On deck is number 3, Trey Delp. That one might have slipped. 2 balls, no strikes for Mason Bales. Trey Jordan at third with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. There, Everson gets that one across for a strike. That one's fouled back, so the count now full for Mason Bales. Trey Jordan on third, 2 outs, top of the 6th. And in there for strike 3. Bales goes down looking. So it all comes down to this, trailing by 9 going into the bottom of the 6th. Bats have to get hopping here in a big way for Frankton if they want to stay alive. Be back with the bottom of the 6th. When we get back, it's going to be Stansberry, Everson, and Peters for Frankton. We'll be back in a moment on RTC TV4. All right, welcome back here. Cheney on the mound for Plymouth. He retired Frankton 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 5th. Frankton down to their last 3 outs here as we go into the bottom of the 6th. Plymouth leading 10-1. Number 20, Ethan Stansberry, Ty Everson, and Braden Peters going to be your first 3 batters. First pitch fouled back for strike 1 for Stansberry. There's a little dribbler. It's going to die before it hits the dirt. And in safe is Stansberry, beating it out. That ball didn't make it out of the grass, and that was a big help for Stansberry. Bowling not able to get it over in time, so Stansberry on with an infield single for Everson. Swing and a miss, strike 1. On deck is Braden Peters. Well, if you're Frankton, you just got to realize there is no 9-run swing, so they got to do it one at a time. No balls, 2 strikes here for Everson. And if you're Plymouth, you can't retire the side on 1 pitch either. So both of them just need to play this inning out. Plymouth in a good spot here with a 9-run lead. That one misses. Count is full for Everson. Winner has to turn right back around and play again. Everson is going to reach. I don't know if that was a walk or a hit by pitch, but either way, he is on. So a little bit of life here for Frankton. Still no outs. Braden Peters. And outside corner call for strike one. Jackson Alexander on deck. There's a shot. That's going to get down. Runner is going to round and score. So Stansberry able to score. Everson moves over. And Peters gets an RBI. Brings up Alexander. We've seen crazier things happen. So far, so good for Frankton. That one's fouled back for strike one. Still no outs here in the bottom of the sixth. Runners at first and second for Frankton. Alexander, no balls, 2 strikes. Number 11, Jonathan Hobbs on deck for Frankton. And Alexander goes down swinging for out number 1. That's going to bring up number 11, Jonathan Hobbs. Comes to the plate with runners at first and second with 1 out. Baron Dietzer on deck for Frankton. Got a chance, got to get there. So not able to beat it out. Out number 2, runners advance, but Frankton down to their last chance here with Baron Dietzer. That one fouled back for strike 1. Everson is at third, Peters at second. That one fouled back. Count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. Beardsley is on deck. Down to the last strike here for Frankton. And that's going to do it. Out number 3. Plymouth is going to advance. They're going to be turning around here quickly, taking on Rochester at 5:30, winning over Frankton 10-2, the final score. Congratulations to this Frankton team. This is a team coming into this tournament that I hadn't seen before, and very impressed with the team, the coaching, everybody here, the fans, the staff here at Frankton. So, been fun. Been a pleasure to get to call some of the games here for the Frankton boys. So Plymouth going to advance down to 3 teams. And after our next game, we're going to be down to our final 2. So it's going to be Rochester and Plymouth playing here. Will they play at 5:30? They will play at 5:30. So got about an hour here before that one tips off. Tips off, not in basketball. Got an hour before we have first pitch here before the Rochester-Plymouth game to determine who's going to play tomorrow night versus Fairfield. So we're going to wrap things up here for game number 12. Final score, Plymouth 10, Frankton 2. And we'll be back here in a little bit with Rochester and Plymouth. Thanks for tuning in to our coverage here on RTC TV4.